Chapter 1. Welcome to Elmwood. As dawn breaks over the serene hills surrounding Elmwood Correctional Facility, a stark contrast emerges between the picturesque landscape and the heavy iron bars that confine its inhabitants. The documentary opens with an audio montage, the clanging of metal doors, echoes of footsteps across concrete floors, and the faint calls of correctional officers directing inmates to morning roll call. Through the lens of raw experience, we are introduced to three diverse stories. James, a former gang member in his late 20s, carries the weight of betrayal on his shoulders as he steps into this new life. Clara, a middle-aged executive, reflects on her fall from grace amidst the whisper of rustling pages in her diary. Finally, Malik, a hopeful teenager, silently vows to break free from the cyclical violence that ensnares his community. This chapter sets the stage for their collective journey of redemption, vulnerability, and the quest for personal growth in the shadow of despair. Chapter 2. The Weight of Betrayal. In his diary, James reflects on his tangled past, tracing the roots of his descent into gang life. He writes about the streets where loyalty seemed unbreakable, yet betrayal lurked at every corner. As he recalls his teenage years filled with bravado and misguided choices, the weight of his decisions sinks in. The adrenaline of street life, once thrilling, now feels like a chain anchoring him to his regrets. His arrival at Elmwood brings immediate disorientation. The clang of cell doors serves as a stark reminder of his confinement. James records how he grapples with feelings of abandonment, not just by friends, but by a system that offered him little hope. Each night becomes a moment of introspection, leading him to question the very identity he built on false foundations. In these pages, he hopes to uncover the betrayal's true lesson. Trust can be a double-edged sword, something he must learn to navigate as he seeks redemption. Chapter 3. A Fall from Grace. In her diary, Clara reflects on the dizzying descent from success to incarceration. Once a rising star in the corporate world, she had it all: prestige, wealth, and the admiration of her peers. But the pressure to maintain her image led to reckless choices, ultimately resulting in her conviction for white-collar crimes. "I was driven by ambition," she writes, "but lost sight of who I really was." As she sits in her cell, Clara grapples with regret and the loneliness of her choices. She recalls family gatherings tinged with laughter, now replaced by the clanging of metal doors. The reality of her fall weighs heavily on her heart, yet she also sees this time as an opportunity for reflection and growth. "This place isn't just a prison. It's a mirror, showing me the parts of myself I need to rebuild. I want to emerge not just as a survivor, but as someone worthy of redemption." Chapter 4. A Young Life Adrift. Malik's diary entry begins with the haunting memory of his neighborhood, where survival often meant navigating the streets filled with drugs and violence. "I didn't choose this life. It chose me," he writes, reflecting on his turbulent upbringing in a single-parent household. His mother, struggling to make ends meet, worked long hours, leaving Malik to fend for himself. School felt like a battleground, where he constantly sought acceptance among peers, leading him down a path of bad choices. As he describes his first day at Elmwood, Malik expresses feelings of confusion and fear. "I thought I was tough," he jots down, "but this place makes me feel small." Despite these challenges, glimmers of hope emerge through his dreams of becoming an artist. Each brushstroke he envisions on canvas represents a silent rebellion against the harsh reality of his past, a longing for a brighter future where he can finally escape the cycle of violence and despair. Chapter 5. Life Inside the Walls. In the heart of Elmwood Correctional Facility, the daily routines unfold with a mechanical rhythm. Morning roll calls echo in the stark halls, where guards assert their authority and inmates shuffle about, a mixture of anxiety and resignation etched on their faces. James, Clara, and Malik navigate their interconnected lives, each seeking solace amid the confines. James struggles with the constant reminders of past betrayals as he attempts to connect with others, while Clara finds small joys in the shared moments of laughter during mealtime. Malik, a teenager grappling with his choices, watches the interactions that dance between camaraderie and conflict. Through their eyes, we witness the subtleties of life behind bars, friendships forged and rivalries ignited, while unspoken fears linger just beneath the surface. In this bleak yet vibrant community, the inmates cling to the hope that understanding and connection can flourish even in the most unlikely of places. Chapter 6. The Power of Words. In the quiet confines of Elmwood, Clara's determination ignites a spark of hope among her fellow inmates. Inspired by her own relentless pursuit of knowledge, she initiates a book club, aiming to create a space for learning and connection. As she scribbles in her diary about the excitement of her first meeting, she reflects on the transformative power of literature. The inmates gather, hesitant yet curious, as Clara introduces the first book, a story of resilience that mirrors their struggles. As they delve into discussions, laughter and deep introspection fill the room, fostering a sense of camaraderie. The power of words cultivates understanding and bridges the gaps created by their pasts. Clara feels a renewed sense of purpose. Her mission isn't just about education, it's about healing through dialogue. Each page turned in their shared journey signifies not just a lesson learned, but a collective step towards redemption and self-discovery. Chapter 7. Confronting the Past. James sits in the dimly lit therapy room, surrounded by a circle of inmates, each grappling with their own demons. Today's group therapy session has a somber yet hopeful atmosphere, as they each take turns sharing their stories. James clutches his diary tightly, a lifeline to his past. When it's his turn, he hesitates, the weight of betrayal heavy on his chest. Slowly he begins to speak, revealing the fractured relationships that led him to the streets and into the gang. Tears well up as he describes the loss of his brother, a victim of the same life he once embraced. In this moment of vulnerability, he feels a strange sense of relief. Sharing becomes a path to healing. The other inmates listen intently, empathy suffusing the air, reminding James that in this shared pain, there is a flicker of hope. Through storytelling, he begins to confront the shadows of his past, inching closer to redemption. Chapter 8. Blossoming Talents. As the weeks pass, Malik discovers a new passion that transforms his prison experience: painting. After attending an art therapy session led by a compassionate volunteer, he finds solace in the vibrant colors and expressive strokes. With a simple canvas and a set of acrylics, Malik begins to channel his emotions onto the blank surface, creating pieces that reflect his tumultuous journey. During a moment of vulnerability, he unveils his first completed artwork to fellow inmates, depicting a turbulent sea, symbolizing the chaos of his life. His peers respond with admiration, igniting a newfound confidence within him. Malik's talent becomes a beacon of hope, earning him recognition not only among his fellow inmates but also from prison staff. His art serves as both therapy and communication, allowing him to express thoughts he once struggled to voice. Malik begins to envision a future where his creativity transcends the bars, highlighting resilience and the possibility of redemption through art. Hodder, Chapter 9. Resistance and Resilience. Clara sat on her bunk, the harsh fluorescent lights casting shadows on the walls, feeling a mix of frustration and determination. Her book club, which had become a beacon of hope for many, was now under threat. A group of inmates resented Clara's efforts, seeing her as an outsider, trying to disrupt their established norms. One evening, as she prepared for the next meeting, she overheard whispers of sabotage, plans to disrupt the discussions, to undermine her influence. Determined not to let this challenge shatter her spirit, Clara reflected on her own journey and the lessons she had learned. She poured her feelings into her diary, recalling the transformative power of resilience. The next day, she addressed the rumors head-on, inviting dissenters to share their stories and ideas. This act of courage shifted the atmosphere, turning resistance into an opportunity for deeper connection. Clara vowed to keep fighting for change, knowing that even in darkness, light could emerge through understanding. Chapter 10. Vulnerability and Visits. Malik waited anxiously in the visiting room, the faint sound of his heartbeat echoing in his ears. Today his mother was coming to see him, a visit he had both longed for and feared. As she entered, her expression revealed a mix of love and disappointment, the weight of years spent apart evident in her eyes. They embraced tightly, a moment imbued with unspoken words. Over the course of their visit, Malik opened up about his struggles and the choices that led him to Elmwood. Tears flowed as he shared his desire to break the cycle of violence that had plagued their family. His mother listened, her heart breaking yet filled with hope. They discussed forgiveness, healing, and the possibility of a new beginning for them both. As the visit drew to a close, Malik felt lighter, empowered by the conversation. In that moment, he realized that vulnerability could lead to profound healing and a path forward. Chapter 11. The Fear of Failure. As the sun rises over Elmwood Correctional Facility, James sits quietly in his cell, surrounded by a few scattered notes and practice materials for the skill certification exam that looms ahead. His heart races with a mix of anxiety and determination. In his diary, he reflects on the crushing weight of his past mistakes and fears about his future. "What if I don't pass?" he writes, admitting his deep-seated worries about reintegration into society. He recalls the times he let his family down, the trust he betrayed, and the life lessons learned the hard way. Yet, amidst the dread, there's a glimmer of hope. Support from newfound friends and group therapy discussions provide him with encouragement. They remind him that failure isn't the end, but a part of the journey. In this moment of introspection, James resolves to embrace the challenge, knowing that true freedom begins with courage and accountability. Chapter 12. Seeking Redemption. In her diary, Clara reflects on the profound journey toward self-forgiveness she has embarked upon since entering Elmwood. Each day she immerses herself in mentorship activities, guiding younger inmates through discussions on ethics, responsibility, and the importance of second chances. The act of teaching allows her to confront her past mistakes while empowering others to learn from their own. Her journal brims with insights, revealing moments where she sees the spark of understanding in her students' eyes, each connection a small victory against the shadows of her past. Clara writes about the emotional weight of her choices, but also the liberating acknowledgement that growth is possible. As she encourages her mentees to dream beyond their current circumstances, she recognizes that her path to redemption is intertwined with theirs, reminding her that change isn't achieved in isolation, but through community and shared understanding. Chapter 13. The Day of Reckoning. The tension in Elmwood Correctional Facility is palpable as the day of James's parole decision approaches. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, and the inmates are on edge, reflecting on what freedom truly means to them. James spends hours in his cell, reviewing his diary, filled with hopes and fears. His entry that day articulates a profound longing for a second chance, juxtaposed with the deep-seated anxiety of returning to a world he feels alienated from. Clara and Malik, aware of the looming decision, share their own hopes. They dream of a day when they too can escape the confines of the prison walls. As evening sets in, the trio gathers for an impromptu meeting, bonding over shared experiences and laughter that momentarily drowns out their fears. In this moment of solidarity, they find solace in the knowledge that no matter the outcome, their journeys toward redemption have already begun.